on NA West. If you're just tuning in, first of all, welcome. Hope you've had an incredible Sunday. We've missed you so very much. Welcome to the stream. We're knee-deep in NA West right now, halfway through the competition. We've already crowned Season X champions across 6 regions, and this will be the final region in which we do so. In case you don't know who I am, my name's Zeke. We got Sun on here, the man with unrivaled hair.
I wouldn't say unrivaled. You complimented Symphony. Don't think I missed that.
I'm exposed. All right. Anyway.
I'm not jealous. It's fine. As you can see, Harmful going down there, swapping the drop spot. They've rotated away from Pleasant and will be picked up almost immediately. So that's the third time now we've seen them falling short in pretty early fights. Loot Lake in the past game, first game over at Pleasant. So some tough early starts coming out from that trio.
Shots will go out, trying to close the gap. Triggy Vayne Triggy. As you said, why do people do this to us? We just want to celebrate you with you. We want to make sure you get all the clout in the world. If Triggy Vayne will go down, that means Vayne Triggy is still the one up top by their lonesome. Unfortunately, no builds, no way to protect themselves. Trying to use the natural cover there of those metal scaffoldings. It did not work out for them. Looks like Vayne Triggy is just going to disengage entirely, but hold the phone. Okay.
The chase is on. Can they find
they're coming
him?
back.
You see the glider going out. The umbrella as well. Frappi popped himself, trying to track it, put down the FSA shots. They see him there. No tags quite coming through. The question is, do they duck back out? And the answer is nope. They're just going to let him go. They say, you get away this time. Not full on chasing, just opting to pause at the top and try and convert as we flip back on over to the block.
And this is just one of the most beautiful blocks. We've been seeing it all day long. You got Blix, Verdi, and I'm a ladies man? Is that what that is? Lodsman? Lodsman. There we go. The X's are always confusing. Every time.
Well, I always generally, I default to it being a O for some reason. Just my head does that. I don't know why.
I did the A.
Yeah, everyone sees something different at the time, but it's generally a vowel that's not I. Figured out.
It's like a Laurel and Yanni thing, you know?
I don't know. Not going there. Staying in the game. Let's go. 44 tag there onto Shield. As you can see, Lodsman rotating around the side, trying to keep the pressure down. This should be Thomas and Ty Tanks on the other side of this. They're the team they've been contesting block against. Blix looking for an angle as Andrew goes out, and he finds Wavy Jacob with a great pump shot. Make sure he closes off the wall to take that one down. Gonna now defend over the card, try and sort his loadout out. Doesn't want to sit on the double pumps to avoid the pullout delay, but Thomas and Ty Tanks, sneaky. Trying to work around the side, but sneak attacks don't work when you're prepared. It was not very effective. Sneak, not getting the critical hit they were looking for. Does get the knock. Can he pull off the 1v3?
He's going to try and run out double 61s to the noggin. He's going to try and go for the jump shot. Thomas, back to the lobby you go. Oh, they're going to dance on him as well.
Hey, it's 2-1. I don't think you dance after winning one time, man. That's what I'm saying. I think it's okay to throw it out there, but if they've beaten you the 2 other times, I think you take this time to go loot, get your stuff settled, and get right back into the game. Sure, it feels good, and you're probably going to get a little thing about it, but, I mean, got to keep your mind in the game.
Yeah. Also, just be a good sportsman, you know.
I don't buy that act. I mean, emotes are in the game. I come from a game where a lot worse things were happening if you won and lost. That being said, now you can see a completely uncontested retail with a mech to also help burn through those towers. The Cube Fiends are going to be no match. This is going to be just free pickings.
Oh, yeah.
For the favorites. I mean, in first place, getting retail uncontested, then you also just get to walk around and get the brute. I mean, if anything, I don't know if you take down all of those, maybe for choice circumstances, but with it, retail being on the edge of zone, right? I don't think you want to leave that much loot for people to come through and grab, right? You're not going to use 6 chug jugs. Yes, you'll get all the launch pads possible, but I think there might be, a ratio there where it's not worth it and you're feeding stuff into other people, but at the end of the day, it's going to feel good to just load up and be like, okay, we're set.
I mean, I think, even if you do it, and let's say there was 6 chug jugs, it's kind of sure, yeah, I'll leave a chug jug behind, or am I going to leave, a ton of these Cube Fiends around that they could use to, tap off shield, which they probably have 200 already, and get extra ammunition,
Right, but, he's leaving a legendary minigun on the ground. That's an upgrade for anybody who rotates through. And, again, I'm not saying it's the wrong decision. I just don't, I think there's a min-maxing thing there that is left to be considered. However, they also just want to get their loot and get out. As we flip on over to Happy, we got Voxy, Naga Ops, who's been around forever, and Cool Penguin, and these are 2 different shades of blue. Yes, I know I am blue-yellow colorblind as well, but I can tell they're two different shades of blue. You can see they're directly on top of each other, trying to get a little bit of space, but the aggro is coming in. They do have a decently far rotation to go as well, and I mean, Happy can be really awkward to fight in when you're stuck inside these natural builds. You basically have to own all the walls around you and turn it into a box fight, but 3v3 box fights right at the start of the game can be very awkward, particularly when somebody starts hucking nades. Golden Boy, is that you?
The nades will come out. Nothing is connected quite yet. They are a layer above them, and they're just trying to keep boxing them in, right? Like, this is the best thing you can do, is try to keep them contained. Yeah, the most, like, advantageous thing would be to fight on the roofs across the way, right? Because then you can kind of tarp over, and you can build up. A 43 is going to just graze Dabsy there. Still has a little bit of shield. A shot goes out and misses. Dopey here. Is it Dopey or Dopey?
Dopey right now, because Dopey, I believe, is a different person, but now you're
Dopey.
trying to see. This is what I talk about, the awkward fights. The second you lose a wall and you're pinned in, how do you rotate out? How do you get to your teammates? Which side are you looking at? Who's focusing who? All of this goes on in comms right now, because if you lose this fight right off the start, you're out of the game. And now you have the added factor, the storm is closing in. Dabsy gets rocked from the side, but Dopey is trying to find as much space as he can. Dabsy is going to get ticked over, just despite it being the one-tick storm, unless he can get a siphon or there's some chug splashes going on. You can see does go down.
That's two.
Piece also goes down. It's all on Dopey. Naga getting the docks there, pushes through, picks up Voxy first. Can he make the play? Piece is also on the ground, finds one, finds two. Can he get the third? Misses the third, and then he swaps it over. Gets the clean trios, can get the revive on Piece. They'll have plenty of heals, but they lose Dabsy in the process. Will be able to get his card. However, now you need to chain heal out and then deal with the next rotation. Yeah, they have the med kit there as well, so they can't top themselves off. But even still, that's just rough. So now we're on board with one of the teams that Ball and I did a VOD review on earlier on, I think like week number 2 or 3 of the FNCS. Symmetrical Epic Whale on Leno. We saw in the VOD review we did, they were landing Loot Lake. Now we see them over by Gotham, so maybe they're opting to change their landings a little bit, as you can tell, for the finals. I don't know, man. I feel like, I mean, obviously I went with Epic, excuse me, Edgy, Scented, and Rex. I was thinking about their major names. But I don't know. I almost feel like Symmetrical's kind of on another level at the moment. I mean, they've been playing very, very, very well. Symmetrical and Leno, like, coming out of the West and going back to the World Cup Online Open qualifiers. Epic Whale obviously did qualify. Leno qualified. Symmetrical was one of the closest coming out of the West in both solos or duos.
They
was
got
just
the
so
reboot.
short the number of times. Got the reboot and are now trying to manage the bandages going through. That's the bottom corner. But Sim just hit a 6 snipe on the driftboard onto Intense Rhino. And now, dude, this is the FNCS finals. You recognize that, right? He's just straight driftboarding across. He's like, no scope, maybe? Can we find it? As Riversan picks up 4DR Storm in the feed. Elevate ends up getting Bumboy, and now the push is on. Leno does get the cleanup onto Intense Rhino, and he's trying to find the shot. Misses the quick heavy sniper flick, but the build battle is on. Shots will go out. The builds are still very strong right now. Going up, this is Break. The Shockwave will send him into the sky. Symmetrical has height. He's going to rejoin everyone down below. Then Shockwave again. And look at this. Epic Whale is here as well. Somehow both of them have claimed height. Probably through Shockwave's. Tacky goes down. Right now, this is a 3v2. That is as a 3v1 now? 3v1. They're moving so fast! They got the knock on Intense Rhino with the snipe to lead into it, and then I think the other player just dipped. Yeah, you can see him on the map. Yeah, it looks like he just pieced, either shockwaved himself off the side, maybe grabbed a driftboard and just disengaged. But the second they got that knock, that's something I really enjoy about this trio in particular, and it's brought on a lot by Lando and Epic Whale. If they know they have an advantage, they want to go. They want to press because they know, hey, we can execute in a 3v2. We have the ability to get there. We have the drift boards, we know the zone is there, and we have pressure. Like, let's just go. Now, hopping over to Modern House by the side of Loot Lake. Madison, Chio, Rama or Ruma, I don't know. I apologize again. We'll double check that afterward. Now, sitting there, also have a mech as well. And honestly, they've done really solidly in terms of the elims. Their issue has been picking fights right around that top 12 situation. You want to do as much as you can. If you've already gotten 3 or 4 elims and you have established position, chill. Just, you will get more opportunities. Teams drop down that time. Get your guaranteed 3 points and take safe picks. You don't need to be forcing the opportunity there. As I say that, Storm Surge pops up 7 below. Madison fires out the heavy snipe, not quite find it, and they say 7 below, eh? I think we got something for that. Pulls out the brute, pulls out the rockets, and they go sprinting towards this next trio. They're immediately going to box up still, now 9 below, but they're going straight forward. Brute stop, shotguns out. Great shots from Madison. 3 different 31 tags, puts him 19 above on the Storm Shield. Bubble Shield is tossed out, and the Brute is effectively neutralized. No third-party action coming from there, and it just gets ripped. Everyone's saying, nope, you don't get to play around with that.
I don't know. I mean, like, they were 7 below, right? And all of that to lose the Brute entirely and to just be 19 above Storm Surge. And then to have the entire lobby, like, now know what your plan was. Like, you had such a good surprise factor there. I would have honestly just said, like, why not just send shots out with, like, your ARs? Or you have the heavy snipe, like, just try to put anything on anyone. The Stinks as well.
I was about to say, Stinks and ARs, I would agree with you in terms of not revealing the Brute at that point in time. But then again, you can talk about the interaction on the map mechanics. If somebody isn't sitting in it, you get eyes on it, etc. But instead, Pelican,
that's actually
going
true.
to use the Stinks to now pressure down and then use the Stinks to also pressure the wall. Pelican number 1 is in tough shape. His wings have been clipped. Will they be able to get the revive up and get him back into the air right now? Madison, Chio able to get that, and Pelican 1 is down. Now, what happens to the loot? Everyone knows you want to loot goblin that, but the rest of the lobby, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trios who have sightlines over here. They're going to preemptively chug splash to make sure they're topped off, and the question is, do they try and take this fight, or are they comfortable with just the loot and then going?
That's a good question. I don't know. It looks like they might want more. But it's just like such a tough spot because you've already shown the lobby what's going on. You've already got the elimination. You drew attention from the Brute. So I think they're fine with just getting the little bit of ammunition, upgrades if possible, and they don't want any more. The flock of Pelicans, they can just keep flying.
I think they want that 3v2 now as we hop on over to some more brutal action on the side as we have Scented, Edgy, and Rex posted up. 127 damage above, and right now just trying to play gatekeeper with it, looking out towards the Storm, not allowing these players to rotate, opting to swap over to the rifles because they saw the tags. Andrew gets knocked down.
I like that exclamation. I like, and subscribe to your face. All right, here we go. They have the 1 elimination, so that knock is going to give them 2 more points. They are sitting at a comfortable 35, but that does not mean they are going to slow down. Where is the last player? He's trying to keep the players alive. It looks like he will also go down. That is both of them cleaned up. Not much in the way. Okay, actually, did he have the 773 ammo going into this?
He had not an insignificant amount, but I don't think it was that. I'm assuming somebody rolled a number. I wasn't looking 100%, but they also did leave retail with a mech, so I would assume they got most of it from there. That being said, anytime somebody picks up a minigun, it's a whole bunch of ammunition. That comes with 99 light bullets. So if you're rocking that attack SMG, that's about 3 clips, magazines. I don't know. I'm not a gun person.
Magazine.
Okay, gotcha.
Magazine.
Thank you for correcting me there. As you can see, posted up in the loot lake zone. It's just a Technicolor world, but not so much for Brogster now. Grenades and the splodes and the rifle bullets will pick that one up. Cease going to continue to rain down fire. They have regular nades and Riversan. Now let's go. Wow. Finding the distance perfectly into 2 insta-splodes. Cease, that was Galaxy Brain. Riversan already over there to play Loot Goblin, and they gobble that one up. 6 elims going over to the trio.
Well executed, and take a look at the minimap. There's not really anyone close by. If you watch the triangles, there are people looking in their direction. But there's really, like, nothing you can do about it, right? You just watch someone GL an entire other team. That is not a fight you want to take.
Yeah, what is up with the amount of light ammunition that is in this match? He was just sitting on 893 in an epic tack. Like,
you know?
Oh, God. That is terrifying.
They're ready to play this spray and play
get that man a minigun. Look at that.
That looks pretty good. 100 slugs there in the shotgun. I mean
that's less. You're never going to go through more than, like, if you go
20?
through 30. No, if you go through 30 in a game, you're in dread on the low ground. But now, like,
is that just what we're going to call that going forward?
It might as well be that run. Again, if you haven't seen it, go check any of the clips out there. The one from his channel is great, particularly for the comms. But it was just like, it was absolutely nuts. And I mean, that was a $200,000 run.
Wait, what?
Catches Garrett. He says, "Give me them toes." There, found him in the Achilles heel on the rotation,
dude. just ripping that man's face off. On the other side, though, Tavon gonna find someone in the sky. What is happening right now? You guys are just terrorizing everyone across the lobby.
And this trio in particular did a very good job always capitalizing on their elims and then going somewhere else. They know they got the knock. They see the campfire going off. Bubble shield is down. They know it's a clean third party. Insta re-knock, insta double. Well done. 5 elims, all the mats they want. They are on the outside of the zone, but they have the bubble shield to be able to work inward. Shockwaves as well, so very well played.
Oh, man, look at that loadout. Just absolutely, it just shines bright like diamonds, all right? Now they still have the shield bubble in play as well to keep them nice, safe, and cozy. They are at the edge of the zone sundown, but, I mean, they have the entire 30 seconds. Like, even looking at this, the closest safe zone, you have a bunch of teams that are posted up, but I think they'll probably okay, especially with the shockwaves. I mean, look at all these metal 1x1s. I don't think anyone's looking to play at the moment, because don't forget, a top 12 is the first round of placement. And right now, halfway through the competition, that's the first thing on everyone's eyes. Where can we get those stacking 3 points that are just continue to rack up? That's going to give us huge benefit later on.
Yeah, and now they're working back over through where we saw the Pelicans, and then Madison, Chio, and Rama. I'm going to go with Rama for now, as we have Macon, Tyvin, and Frappe, the parallel, and Congarna.
Oh, no.
But Cease and Elevate laid directly on top of the Pelicans, right underneath them, and they're just going to say, hey, edge of zone, we're good. Storm Surge will come through. Again, the threshold for that will be 50 players, so 10 more will need to drop as the circle closes, and that's going to be awkward because pretty much everyone is already in the circle, and there's a decent amount of people who are pinned into that low grab zone.
Yeah, I think the big question is going to be, where does the zone go from here, right? If we cut across that grab zone, that is going to make things difficult because you don't want to be jumping in there. You have to be really careful how you are navigating. A shockwave could just spell disaster, but across the way, Rich Homie Quinn, Barrow, they're going to start sending shots out. A huge stink grenade is going to devour all 3 of their health bars, giving them a moment of respite here. Riversan just trying to keep up in the bills. Now you hear the grenade launchers, but where are they going? These must be coming out from this trio, maybe another, but it's not hitting them right now. Oh, what are you doing, bro? You can't stand still. This is the grand finals, friend.
Yeah, but that is a tough angle. If you look at that, he was peeking for that pixel grid, and he was looking for it. I don't know how much of Barrow was able to see that shot even coming. Yes, you need the shots. Maybe they needed Storm Surge tags, but, like, way to take advantage of it. Sometimes that's what the heavy sniper will do. It can end your match in an instant. However, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to push over and get the conversion. Barrow did get revived, but there is a stake on the other side trying to push over. Pelican does get Rich Homie Quinn, and then Barrow gets cleaned up by Cease. Well done there. 8 elims now coming out from Cease, Elevate, and Riversan.
Unfortunate there wasn't more rockets, because that could have, they basically could have burned those GLs trying to explode people on the way out and then drop it, but it's okay. They have Cease now has a single shockwave he can use to his advantage. His loadout starting to look really, really good, and they have the 2 shield bubbles as well to protect them as they begin making those rotations. A single Pelican out here near the water. Is he looking for a fish? That was a Pelican sound, by the way.
I'm not going to question it. We're just going to roll as Cease dives on down, not looking for fish, looking for a safe landing spot as we're inside our top 20. Old man Fulmer still putting in the work, saying, get off my lawn, you kids. This is my region. Doing everything he can as the last Pelican does fall here. 17 trios left, and just over half the players left in the lobby as Cease, Elevate, and Riversan start pouring shots across. A little bit of duck hunt, but Dopey goes down. Cease catches one in the shoulder for return, so going to need to eat a little bit of those mini shields and then get all the way into the zone. They're just on the edge, trying to see where that white is. Yeah, they're going to need to tunnel forward a little bit farther, but they have time to bubble shield, so should be safe right now. We'll wait for the Dopey elimination to tick over, and it should push them up to 9 unless the revive comes through. But in your bottom right-hand corner, the current leaders, 37 points. Scented, Edgy, Rex sitting on the retail row loot, 847 light ammunition. When do they go up? How do they go up, and who challenges them? That is the question. Typically, it's Zone 6. Zone 5 is just now closing, and they got Prio. Do they shockwave up? Do they 90 up? Do they wait and go late? These are the questions. This is the best trio in the West. 8 tournament wins. How do they execute on this, and can they close the game out when they have everything they need but the current high ground position.
Yeah, if they can get that, they're literally, I'm telling you, Mazer Bugga, whichever one of the three he is going to sit on the high ground and rain shells from above. They're just going to not see anything except light ammunition. They are going for this rotation on the safe side, but look at everyone else in the sky. There's so many people right now. Sundown, he finds himself a little nook, and this is it. He's challenging for the high ground. They know they have to get this, and they need to get it right now. They need to dictate the pace of everyone else in the lobby. People are starting to drop like flies. Persecute goes down. Don't forget, at top 12, we sit the first round of placement points. But watch the new safe zone. We're getting dangerously close to low grab. Here we go. They go up with a shockwave. They drop a bunch of people. Bugga eats a ton of damage. Drop down to 60 effective HP. He's going to shockwave back to reconnect with the team. Very close to edge here. Look at this. They do have the splashes as well to keep themselves topped off. But again, like you said, they need to keep challenging high ground. That is what they want. That's what they need. Great shot going to go out. I believe he must have caught himself up there. Looks like they just reconnect. It's okay. Tarping out as a group. Everything's okay, Sundown. They're joined at the hip, and that's what they need to be doing.
14 trios remaining. He did go up there looking for it, but there's still another trio on the other side. A couple players are getting sent all over the place. Great snipe looking back on the backside. You need to stay ramped out or they'll take advantage of it. Now he goes. It's the 7-circle high ground retake. He's going to look to reconnect with Bugga right there on the side. Excuse me, with Edgy right there on the side. Trying to push forward, catches the rockets, and now high ground is there for the low cost of their shockwaves and the launch pad and a little bit of patience. They're going to begin to rain down on the lobby as we have our top 12. 3 points going over to everyone as we move through the Technicolor Dream just on the edge of the low grab zone. You can see everyone desperately trying to avoid being caught out in the open, not being forced into a position where they have to fall and become an easy target as Riversan is looking for a pick on the tarp. Bubble shield is used as they continue moving along the storm. Top 10 happening now. 20 players remaining.
This is going to test their ability to just not jump right now. Bugga gets picked off from up high, but watch this. Look around. Even Mazer Tifu, one of the edgy Rex incented. Rex, I'm sorry. It's going to be so difficult to remember all of you. Which one's Mongrel?
I believe it's Edgy, but not positive. That being said, fires out the snipe shot, looking to catch him on the backside of the zone, but 29 HP Z.
He is on basically nothing. He's going to try and go for a shot. It did hit, but it was not a critical. He finds someone trying to tunnel their way down. Old Man Fulmer gets dropped in the process. Riversan making his way around. He does have 5 eliminations. We're about to hit top 4. That's another round of placement points. Here we go. There it is, the turnover. Second is the next round. Riversan is doing everything he can. He's got 7 builds. He's got like nothing to work with. He finds someone in their back, held back. Dog gets ripped. Top 2, 12 points going out around. It's just Riversan. Is he in a 2v1 situation? The shockwave going to give him some height, and now he looks down.
They're in the bubble shield. It's a 1v1. The other player had been down back in the storm. He was waiting on it. He has the position. 10 builds, 8 builds, 6 elims for Riversan, 12 total for them. Can he pull it off? The 1v1s all towards the end. Ducks out in the storm, 10 HP, 110 overall effective. Looking for the shot, jumps out 180, doesn't find it. No builds. Kytrex goes down, goes for the trade. Riversan blasts him out. 1,000 light ammo, don't need it. 336 heavy ammo, don't need it. 5 shockwaves, don't need it. All I need is high ground and a couple of shoddy shells. Walking it out, a brilliant performance by them. I mean, what more can we ask for, Shio?
It's a perfect game played from the perfect position. The win condition playing for perfectly as well. Mid-ground is one of those positions where you want to save yourself all the way for that end game to then try to go look for elims solo or with a trio. Either way, you're at an advantage. We have the standings up to see exactly what the update is. The main focus I want to put on those standings specifically as well is exactly what the point breakdown is in between the top placing and the bottom placing people in the top 10 on the leaderboard. So right now, we've got Scented, Edgy, and Rex, the predicted trio from a majority of the casters, except I think for Monster, all the way at the top. 44 points. Look at the differential, though, in just the top 5. We have 44 down to 32. It's a 1-point game at first between 2 top-tier trios, especially considering that there's only 1 Vic Royale between both of them at the moment. So anything can happen in these other 2 games. It's a very close-knit race. We have a package to see exactly how everyone else is playing in this entire format for the moment. The 6 games coming up. The 4th game will be coming soon. In game 3, though, let's see exactly what went down. Help back dog. Now, we had the strat being discussed by, I believe, Lupo or Sundown, landing on the person at the power spot of the POI and going for a pickaxe Elim quick. Unfortunately, the worst thing that could happen, or the best gun in this case for that individual, a gold scar comes through. Perfect accuracy as well, as West had so much practice fighting, they get that Elim. Speaking of practice and experience fighting, Blix first took the bad edge of the sword when he dropped block, I believe the first or second game, against Wavy Jacob, Tanks, and Thomas. This time, though, he realizes what the split and breakdown is. He's not going to get baited once again. He's the point man for this game, takes shots in, baits them to actually open up and peek on him. A little bit of the L dance on the flex. We have a new early game storyline we can keep intact with in game 5 and 6. Dopey, once again, happy Hamlet Warriors. We discussed this in game 1 as well. We've seen this pattern time and time again. Why aren't trios leaving when they lose to the same people over and over again? It will not make sense. What does make sense, though, are those free early game points for Dopey and his squad moving forward, hopefully using that momentum to get even better end games later on. Speaking of end game, before you get there, you gotta get through that middle portion. You gotta get through those early fights. Riversan doing an excellent job to stay controlled on top of height and cones where he is. Maddie's son, once again, congratulations. He's the only female playing in this entire tournament, qualified in the grand finals, rightfully so as well. Early game Elims coming through all the time, each game. Now the job is to translate that later on. Cease, once again, playing off of the pressure. He pulls off the explosives. He goes up by himself, kind of making room for the rest of his trio to play off of his positioning. Riversan, big beams up top. If it's white HP, if it's white tags, you still go straight for it, right? Now, Frappe, another person we've been seeing kind of go around, kind of play patiently through his cones, edit peak. Once again, West has so many different types of playstyles you can actually play with, and so many different playstyles going on, it makes entirely new ways to actually play and approach the game analytically when you're actually alive in your boxes. Synergy right here, not in a box, but in the storm, takes out Joel, one of the 1,400 boys, the fan favorites to actually come in and perform. Maybe a little bit of underdog, but at the same time, a veteran trio coming through. They do hit that top spot in the heats, but can they translate that in the game? Now, Riversan, once again, that end game highlight, right? Not already or not almost the last person left alive, utilizing a very smart edit, knowing the gravity changing in this rift zone. He edits someone down and then has all this time to follow up with the tarp. These tarps now getting longer since every single trio is not keen on changing layers. You're so floaty in this Loot Lake rift zone. He's going to keep moving forward. Everything's going to be kind of horizontal. Any edits made are guaranteed shots hit. You can see that here. The pressure as well, not getting to his head at all, but his bullets are finding his enemies' heads with that increased multiplier. Big damage coming through no matter who it is, no matter how much shield you have. And now upgrading over, getting that heavy snipe locked and loaded, has that win condition of the shockwaves as well. Might just overcharge him all the way to the top, so he stays on the bottom, picks up that quick Elim, then utilizes and manipulates the storm with his HP so well. Look at that low amount, 20 HP left at the moment, still dives into storm, dips back out. It's kind of hard to track him if you're on ultimate low. You hear the drop down, the bait and switch, still has shield, has the audacity to take that bare peak and still land the shot because he has so much momentum coming in. Amazing game. I want to keep this momentum flowing just like Riversan did. We're getting into the next game. Sundown, Zeke, take it away from me.
Thank you so much, Shy Away.